Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Aida Rodriguez, and this is my latest episode of Truth Serum. Oh, my bad. It's so deceiving. I just want to say what's up to everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate you always showing up for me, showing up for the shows. Keep sharing the content, keep telling people about it. Keep coming back. We're going to keep having the conversations that you want to have. Keep sending the suggestions of topics and things that you would like to talk about. I really appreciate it today. I wanted to talk about headlines as this show is called Truth Serum, the weekly wrap up. I want to make sure that we don't depart from, tackling the issues and the news. Anyway, I see some of you that were here on Wednesday for the workout show, and I want to say thank you for that. That's where we do jokes, and this is where we talk about politics and social issues, which are also jokes. I wanted to, start with some of the headlines. I know that there's a big divide in our country. The divide has been in the works for quite some time. There's the divide between the Republican and the Democratic Party, the conservatives and the liberals. But then there's also a divide within those parties themselves. As you see, many Republicans are now speaking out against Trump. They are conservatives who do not support Donald Trump. And then, as you see within the Democratic Party, there are some people who are liberals and some that are consider themselves progressives and are not with the former agenda of the liberal Democratic Party. So we are seeing a lot of division, and so it makes me a little bit nervous to think that the powers that be probably rejoice in this, because what happens is that we are very divided. We're going to tackle these headlines, and we're going to talk to one of my favorite comedians, one of the funniest, and actually, he's not just one of the funniest, but one of the smartest people that I know, who speaks that too. As I say, he takes some of the things that are happening in the world today, in the political and the social landscape, and he writes jokes about them. And how I am, I live for my hood and I rep for it. And I just think that he's one of the people that I've always watched in comedy and admired and said I want to be that kind of funny. So please welcome my friend Earthquake, one of the funniest people in real life and also now on Instagram. What up, Quake?
And you beautiful Latino woman that's fighting a good fight. That like John Lewis say, the good trouble. I wouldn't be in trouble. I will always want to have trouble, not bad trouble. Hey, beautiful.
How you doing? Where are you?
I'm in my condo here in Studio City. You know what
Oh,
I'm
you are
saying?
here. You're in LA.
Yes,
And
I am here.
so
Yeah.
you have been very vocal about people following the social distancing rules, wearing the masks. You have been talking about it, using your platform to make sure that people stay safe. And I think it's important that we do that because a lot of these dummies out here don't think this is real.
Well, the problem they don't think that is real because it's a visible disease, and our people, we need immediate gratification or immediate, you know, repercussions,
Right.
for them to believe it, So, to each his own. If you want to believe it or not, but all you got to do is just spend one day in the ER, the frontline workers, talk to some people that's on the front line or some people that actually had this disease hit them or a family member, and you too will understand the significance of this virus that's out here.
Have you been touring in the midst of coronavirus?
Yeah, I've been having a couple spot dates, but as a comedian, our money is based on the capacity of the people that get to see us. So, it's going to be a while for us to get back to full revenue the way we had it previously before this happening. But, it's just life. This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. So I want to get into it. I like talking to you because you're one of the comedians I can talk to about anything, right? We could talk about
Right.
comedy, we talk about politics. I do your show sometimes, and you go for the headlines. You do talk a lot about relationships as well, and you stand up for the men, and give the men a voice because I think that somewhere along the way things have changed, and there's just a whole new climate of people that are, people getting canceled left and right. Do you ever worry about getting canceled?
No, you can't take nothing from me I that I own. I mean, I'm self-sufficient. My thought pattern and my thoughts are mine. So I'm willing to debate anything that I say because 9 out of 10 is thought out and it comes from a genuine spot. It's not malicious. And if you want to debate it, we can debate it. So no, I don't worry about cancellation at all.
You don't. How long you been doing stand up now, Quay?
Since 1991.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's 29 years.
God damn it. I never count, but if that's what you say, that's what it is. That's what it is. I
Yo.
never counted.
And you've seen it come and go. You've seen the different the trends, the styles. You've endured. You still remain one of the funniest people in the game. When you look at comedy now versus comedy, let's say 10, 15 years ago, what are some of the things that you see that make you that are so distinctly different from when you were coming up in comedy?
Well, we had a more appreciation to the genre when I was coming up. It
Mhm.
was more people. It was a process. It's kind of like metaphorically, like kids. We are my generation. We was the oven. The younger generation of the microwave. So certain food can be cooked in the microwave, and certain food you can taste it and find out is microwave. But all shit that comes out the oven is always properly cooked. So in that retrospect, what I'm saying, for the people is we care more about of maturing a joke. Before you can get on TV, you had to make sure that you already had put some work in it, that it was seasonal, it was test and true. Now, the content. I was just talking to a friend of mine, and that's in the business as long as I have. He said we cared to make sure the joke was ready. Now they just put it out there as soon as it's in my head. It's ready to be put it in distribution and shown out to the public without, and it shows. You can see a lot of comedians not working on the jokes before they allow the public to see it. You see comedians, get in the club and work it out, whatever processor you need to get it for it to be a great joke. Now they don't do it. Whenever they feel it, they throw it up there and let it go, which is I call dummy down, the crowd, in
Yeah.
my humble opinion.
So let me ask you this, because you are one of the comedians that people name as their favorite comedians. Who are some of your favorite comedians? Who are some of your comedic influences?
Well, I don't have influences, but I do have peers that I admire, and I'm talking to one of them because
Oh,
you're a double minority. You're a woman of color, and you're a woman. You know what I mean? So your fearlessness. Just I love a comedian that's fearless. So I love Corey Holcomb because of his fearlessness. DL,
mhm.
smart comedy. I don't think that you can. I think that you can also be smart and funny at the same time, and that's what I admire. I equate it to, no disrespect and infinite, but to Chinese food. The reputation with Chinese food. As soon as you eat it, an hour later you're still hungry. And, you are soul food. It sticks to your ribs. It's there. You burp and you still taste it. You remember. That's how your jokes are. After people leave the comedy club and they gone, they can be gone. It's still with them years later. It resonate with them. It ain't a no. It's like, man, did you hear what she said about the kids and the stuff with it? I don't like my kids. It resonates. That's what me personally, when I'm writing, that's the standard that before I tell a joke that I'm looking for. And I appreciate other comics that also have those standards when I see them do it. And you're one of them. So
Well, I feel humble to that because for that because I love watching you. I'll go to comedy shows. You one of the comedians that I'll go just watch. I don't have to get up. I remember I saw you in Seattle one time, and it was the people were like laughing. It was guttural laughter, and like now you see a lot of comedians, and people will say that's funny. But when it's funny, when people get scared, they don't say that's scary. They get scared. So
right,
when I hear people say that's funny, I'm like, they didn't think that was funny because if it was funny, they would have laughed. And so,
true.
you know what I'm saying? When I see you perform, people are always, they cry. I remember in Vegas one time, Meriwether's dad got up to use the bathroom, and it was after one of the fights, and you were like, "Hey, I thought I was gonna watch a fight yet last night, but instead I was watching Dancing with the Stars." And the
Yeah,
audience just fell out laughing. It was
yeah,
great.
yeah. Because I love Floyd, but I don't. I want to see a fight, man. I don't want to see you dance around for 12 rounds. I tell them that. Let's break out a fight, man. This Dancing with the Star. That's all.
Let me ask you this: when you are writing your jokes, now you've been talking a lot about the things that are happening, right? But you've
Right.
always done that. I always leave saying, I remember you did a joke about police brutality, and that had to be like 8 years ago. I saw you do this about getting pulled over. You've always done it, right? Because a lot of people jumping on it now. You've always done it. What is your how do you decide what you're going to talk about when you're doing your comedy, when you're writing those jokes?
Well, it all has to do with my environment. I see something, I elaborated on it, and I make it comedic, but I always wanted to be principled, and say something that no one else will say. The obvious, that's what's not obvious. Like, prime example, like I wrote a joke long time ago, of course, because it's opinionated, like OJ. Everybody was saying OJ this and this, but my key was, how do you kill two people with one knife? What was the other one doing when you were stabbing the first one?
Right.
You can only kill two white people with one knife. You can never kill two black people. Because if you kill the man first, the girl gonna like, see, I told him, OJ, don't come over here. I told him it was me. Come on in here, let me fix you something to eat. Take your shoes off, because that's your old man. You know what he like to eat. I got the oxtails in here and go. If it's a man and you killed her first, he gonna be running around here. Look, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Run around the car. Go ahead, man. When the dog chase you, you got the knife. Let that shit go, OJ, man. It's just it. So, but the poignant part about the situation, with the point that I try to make is, how do you stab and kill two people who are approximately 24 feet away from each other? How do you let a motherfucker? I can see shooting a person, but how do you stab two people with one knife? Only white people. Only white people. You can't kill two niggas with one knife now. You just can't. One of them motherfuckers gonna be giving you an explanation why they was over at the house. And you're gonna have to catch them. You're gonna have to catch them to stab. You got to. That's why you see most black people get shot, because you can't get that close enough that you'll be able to stab them.
That makes me laugh. You
Yeah.
sat down. So you have been very active in supporting Kamala. You have been
Yes.
posting about her. What do you
Yes.
say to the people who have been hating on her? Because I see what you've been saying, and you're like, come on, man.
Well, first of all, let's just say this. Women of color, and it includes you too. I'm so tired of our men of color, not standing up for our women of color. Why shouldn't she get the benefit of the doubt? See, I don't want to hear what she did 40 years ago. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt to see what she's doing the next four. And, you know what I mean? It's sitting there. She came from an HBCU. She's from Oakland. What more blacker do you want her to be? I'm not you. People got to understand, when you're picking a person to lead you politically, it's like public transportation. It's like riding a bus. They're never going to take you all the way to your house. They're going to get you close. You're looking for somebody to get you the proximity to your house, near your house. And you got to walk the other way. That's all your political figures can do for you. is get you halfway, or if you want to catch the bus that gets you closest to your destination. And it's between Kamala and these motherfuckers here. Don't tell me what she did wrong 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 12 years ago, when you got a motherfucker that's doing shit to you today in real time. You know what I mean? So if you're not going to give a sister a benefit of the doubt, a black woman, a woman of color, that'll sit there, of course I'm going to support her. And in that 4 years, she don't do what she's supposed to do, 10 I'll criticize. But at least get a sister the opportunity to fail. Why will you so scrutinize a person that's been just 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 done wrong all historically, and you don't give them a benefit of the doubt? So I'm down for Kamala. I'm down for all women of color. I always have and always will be. And I have never been so proud than yesterday when I seen her accept the nomination for Vice President of the United States for the Democratic Party.
Yeah, you've been also telling people to vote. Like you've been very, very adamant about the importance of voting. And you made a point that made me say, like when I did your show, you showed the video of them locking people out of the voting polls. And you were like, if it didn't matter, they wouldn't try to keep you from voting. So you've been very active, using your platform. And I know people be telling you, why you just can't tell jokes? Why you talking about this?
Well, I mean, I have always been political in my stand up, even before that, because
Right.
I tell people, especially people of color, the political problem, the problems that we have is like a puzzle, and we need to put each different piece for us to solve the plot of racial um, discrimination, institutional racism, and white supremacy. So we all got to do our part and contribute to each piece of the puzzle. And voting is a major piece of the puzzle. It's not the end all, make all, but you need that. You need that political power. You're allowing these people to make decisions about your life and your career. And I tell black people all the time, if voting didn't matter and it didn't cost and it didn't matter at all, then why are they fighting so hard to keep you from voting? And one more thing, no white man will ever stop you from doing something that is not important, that benefits you. So I tell them all the time, you have to see what it is. And you think your vote don't count? Yeah, it did. Because you didn't vote is why he's there. If you don't think your vote don't count, then you see right now, yeah, your vote counts. Since you didn't vote, we are in this situation now. Anyone can see, even Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, any motherfucker that can't see, can see this man is not have the altitude, nor the mental capability to handle this job. Like Barack said last night, he doesn't want to do the work. He just wants the glory of the job, not the job description of the job. And it's just that
So
simple.
I know you. So are you able to criticize Barack Obama too?
Of course. Of course. I criticized Barack when he ran. I criticized him, and back when I criticized Barack when they'll throw you out the race for it. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, because Barack, when he won, he was right below Jesus. So
Right.
you with the black community, you mess around and get kicked out the race. And all I said was, I'm happy for the symbolic part of it, but if he's not gonna go all out for us, then it's just a symbolic thing. And some people like he's president of all people. I said, yeah, but you don't understand you don't understand the process of democracy. And what I mean by this, you're supposed to give back to the constituents who supported you. Black people have supported the Democratic Party, aka Barack, 95%. So you're supposed to give back to and make policies for that for those people that constituents who voted for you. Just like the NRA supports Republicans. In return, they protect their gun rights. Abortionists, people that is pro-life, support the Republicans. In return, they give them judges and everything that supports their agenda. We have yet to get things back in exchange for our vote. And that's the things that I'm going to hold him, Joe, and Kamala accountable for on November the 4th.
So I wanted to show you some of the things. You watched the DNC, you watched the convention, you watched it all?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so we're gonna play this video and I want you to tell me what you were thinking, because a lot of people were confused, and I always love to hear your take on things.
Okay.
So Arena, can you play the video?
Nobody's right, everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their mind, getting so much resistance from behind. We gotta stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a building for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and carrying signs. Folks, we say, hooray for our side. Time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Down, 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 down.
Now, I didn't see that part. I did. I must have went to the bathroom during that time. But that's another thing. I mean, that's another thing our people got to understand. We're not monolithic. We're diverse, and you got to see. That's one thing about being in the military. When I was in the military, we sat back and had to. We wouldn't go into a club. We have a nightclub. It's called the NCO Club, and they'll play all different kind of music.
Right.
Because we was diverse. You had country people there, rock, of course, black people with hip hop. So when hip hop song come on, all the black people get on the floor.
Right.
And they play a country song, we'll sit down, then all the country people get up there and do their dance, chicken around there, sit down, then they'll play a rock man, then all the mama who like rock going. And what I'm saying is, we are diverse. It's different. And so to make it an open tent for everybody, you got to give something to everybody so they can feel inclusive. So when I see things such as that I don't maybe relate to or I don't understand to, I really try to step out myself and say, well, this part of the program was for a brother or sister that's not my brother or sisters, and they're just reaching out to them to let them know that they're inclusive into it too. So it never messes with me, period. And I accepted it. If you look at the other parties, such as the Republican, it's just one thing. If you're not down for pro-life, and I don't know why they call it pro-life, I changed it. They should be pro-birth, because they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to make sure the baby come here, and then when the baby get here, you on your motherfucking own. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's not pro-life, it's pro-birth. We just want to make sure if you sleep with a woman that come on. So, if you don't tag that line with the Republican Party, then you're not inclusive on it. That's why they're shrinking. And ours is everything. LPG, I don't know the alphabets, but the gay movement. You have you got my Latino brothers and sisters. You got black in it. You got white. You got poor. Uneducated whites. We have the whole gamut. So if you're gonna have a convention, you're gonna have to put each one of those different, touch each one progressive against conservative. See, I'm not even a Democrat. I'm an independent. So a lot of things that the Republicans used to stand for, I was for lower taxes, which black people believe in God and love of country. And I tell people all the time, Black people, if I could change anything about them, our mindset is this is our country. We are the most patriotic race ever to love this country because we're the only race that fought for this country when this country did not love us. Everybody else that fought for this country, the country accepted them. We fought in wars for people rights that we didn't even have at our own home. So you can never. We burnt in. And I told them this is our country because our ancestors built it on the back of their lives, built it on the back. Just think how good you could be or we could be if we had free labor. If we could sit around and someone else raised our kids, did our work, sit down here and allow us to sit on our ass and come up here with a master plan. We'll be farther in life too. You're supposed to do great things if you got somebody else around here doing all your hard work. And then when you feel bad, you can go down there and humiliate them. You can sit down here and abuse them. You can rape, pillage, make feel good about yourself because you got someone you can step on. Of course, you'll feel good about yourself. You should prosper. You should be far ahead. If you have a race of people that you can have do all your dirty work, do all the things you don't want to do or you can't do, and then when they do come up with something great, you take credit for it.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, so if it's anybody around here that should be, I mean, how did they say back in the day? The shit that gets me all the time. Just locked in, grandfather claused in. It's black people when it comes to patriotism. We're grandfathered in. Check our record. So I want people, especially our people, like Barack said, we are the ancestors of people who did all of this in search of democracy when democracy didn't show them anything. When there was no reason to believe into the stuff like Barack said last night, you know, a more perfect union. When you walk outside, a motherfucker could just hang you and get off. So, you know, it's nothing that they could tell me. We are the most patriotic people in the world because we're the only race of people that love this country when the country didn't love us, and we still fought for it.
That's
and
right.
Died for it.
That's a very good point, though. That's like, like we talk about the slaves built this country, and we know you see all the structures from the White House on down, but also actively fought in wars to come back to be treated like 3/5 of a human.
We fought in wars against people who was denying other people rights that we didn't have.
Yes. And that's
fight against, you understand, against tyranny, dictators. When we was over here being segregated and didn't even have the rights at the place that we was fighting to liberate other goddamn countries it's like building somebody else's house up, fighting for a person to live in a house, and you ain't even living in the house that you in.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah, I never even thought about that. That's like, damn, along with the laundry list of other things, but that's
the main one. I mean, how you gonna say our people don't love this fucking country, and on top of that, how in the fuck you gonna say it ain't ours?
Yeah,
we showed the commitment to it. Our kids can piss on the flag for 100 years, and it's still, you can never ever question the contribution that our ancestors did when the country did not love us. And then another thing, I tell people all the time, I love my country. My country reminds me of my condo. I love my condo. I just can't stand the landlord. And that's the same thing about this country. I love this country. I just never hated the landlord.
That is really, that's funny, and it's true. And I think that, right now more than ever, it's important for comedians, right? I think because we are the ones on the front lines talking about the stuff that everybody else is scared to talk about. And even though a lot of people want us to just tell jokes and they don't want us talking about heavy stuff, I think more than ever. So when you use your Instagram page, and I found out about the Karen phenomenon on your page. Like, I've always known about white women doing, these egregious things and causing people's lives from Emmett Till to today to George Floyd and on that and then some. But I didn't really know that it was called the Karen phenomenon, right? Until I saw it on your page, right? And then Yamanika, who's on here, has a series, and I saw D.L. Hughley. I don't think people realize how much they fuck with us on a daily basis when we just minding our own goddamn business. And it is now because of these camera phones that we get to see this shit. Like, and I go to your page and I'm like, I see, you know, you're fighting for Breonna Taylor for justice. You spoke up for George Floyd. You're telling people to social distance and wear their masks. And there are actors that are scared to do that. They don't want to do that.
Because they really feel that they're exempt from the struggle. You know, I be trying to get in debate. See, I don't argue with people, but I'm a facts-driven person. And what I say to them is, you know, no matter what suit you wear, no matter what credentials you got, no matter what economical status you get to, you know, because most of people, you know, they always throw up in our face when we do about the George Floyd, Breonna Taylor sitting there on the thing. Well, what about black on black crime?
Oh.
What about absentee fathers? And I tell them like this. I say, okay, for all your arguments, let's just say every brother that slept with a sister or whatever woman immediately became a father and a father in the home. Supposedly, hypothetically, no brother ever, black people don't kill each other no more, no black on black crime or nothing on that. Say all of that. All the things you say, it still ain't going, none of that matters when you run into that cop on the side of the road, because he doesn't know if you're a good father or not, nor does he care. He doesn't care if you got a good job or not. Yep. He doesn't care. He doesn't know that none of those other factors when he comes with the authoritative position that he feels that you're not a human being and you're not entitled to the same rights of a person of a different pigmentation. So all those things that you just putting as side noise will not change institutional racism, because they just don't feel that we deserve equality among them. There's certain people in this country of fear that this great country is going to change. And I understand it. I just want you to know, it's like, I'm metaphorically like a fine chick. Fine women get a lot of shit. Free drinks at the club, don't have to stand in line, they let them in. But suppose they was to be treated like women that was unattractive. They'd be mad at a motherfucker too. If they had to stand in line, had to pay for their own drinks and everything else, you don't hear no fine chicks arguing for equal rights for unattractive women, because they love that privilege. They love men buying them, giving them roses and fixing their tie. They love the privilege that comes along with something that they ain't had shit to do with it. Their looks, which God gave them. And it's equivalent metaphorically, it's the same thing with a white man. You had nothing to do with your pigmentation. But you refuse to recognize, based upon your pigmentation in this country, you have benefits that people that don't have your pigmentation don't. And you refuse to recognize it and agree with. That's all we want. We don't want what you got. We just want to let you know we want what we deserve. And this Constitution that you keep throwing in our faces from the founders said we supposed to have during birth: life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. How can you do this if a man pulls me over and as soon as he come to my car, he got a gun out? And his excuse is, I couldn't see your hands. You don't do that to another person like that. You assume he's not a criminal. You assume I'm a criminal already. I'm not paying my tax money for this type of protect and serve. I'm sorry.
I know that's right. Do you ever have people confront you at your shows about some of the things that you say on stage?
Nah, I haven't.
I believe you.
I don't. Because I don't. Mine's what I don't do. I don't preach it in it, and I keep it in the realm of a joke, and I'm quicker. I hit it and keep on going. I don't elaborate on it, and then I give it to you, and I'm factual based. I don't. when I get an observation, then I look into exactly what it is, and then I hit them from that point on. And you can't argue it. If you're going to sit around here, like I told this white dude who's a friend of mine, he said the problem I had, they keep bringing up slavery and what happened. That happened a long time ago. I say you keep bringing up 9/11. Every time 9/11 come in, we always have to remember the tragedy that happened to them 3,000 people. Now, when do you stop remembering that? When is it time? You never tell. When do you get to determine when a person stop mourning the death of their loved one or the inhumane of their loved one? That's very white of you to tell me I should get over that. You would never tell a rape victim, oh man, that was your grandmother that got raped. Let that go.
Right.
Let that go. Yeah, they hung her up and raped her, and 15 niggas did a gangbang on her and killed her. But you should let that go. We the only people don't get, or another race tell us when our mourning should stop. When it was enough for us, and it ain't, because it continue on. The residue of that mentality is still here, and you act like it was many lifetimes ago. I'm 57, man. I remember all this shit. Listening to my mother talking about, listening to my grandmother talking about, I feel their pain. So when you sit here and tell me this, you're telling me I should just forget all about what my grandmother went through. She told me about her mother and the rest of them, what your ancestor did to them, and say, that's old, grandma. Fuck out of here.
So, did you hear that Trump wants to boycott Goodyear because you can't wear, they banned MAGA hats?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think about that?
I mean, first of all, federal government don't supposed to put the weight on the scale for any private businesses to tell boycott anyway. And I just don't understand how his supporters don't see he's the most narcissistic, self-imposed person. He's saying boycott them because the person could not wear their hat, his hat, on their job. Boycott them now. Now, Goodyear is the biggest supply employers there is in the state of Ohio. So you want all of them to lose their job because they did not, one local branch did not want them to wear a political hat on them. But like Barack said, man, he's not serving himself. He's not serving the country. He's serving himself and his friends. And anybody that does not do it, then he gonna shake them down. And that's what he doing. But see, I'm so glad right now the country gonna have to stand on to see exactly who and what we are right now.
Yeah, that's what's happening. So
who and what we are.
Who and what we are. So did you see that the Los Angeles mayor shut the power off in the Hollywood Hills to shut down those parties, the large parties that were happening?
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard. I mean, it's a pandemic going on, brothers. And can y'all not, it's a simple sacrifice. It's simple. You're doing it for yourself. First of all, if we had any kind of leadership, we'd be out of here right now. I could have solved the shit in February myself. All you had to do, period. No, I could have.
I'm sure.
All you had to do was get the same rapid testing that he gets within 24 hours. Tell everybody mass produce, easy, convenient testing. Tell everybody we need you. We're going to pass these tests around. If you come up and say, if it passes and it says you have a positive test, go to your local physician. If you don't, go to an urgent care. Have it confirmed that you do have corona. From that point on, they will submit it to your place of employment, telling you have for those 2 weeks of incubation, the government will pay you whatever your last statement check was for you to stay home. You would stay home and stay there, quarantine, come out of quarantine, get tested again. If you cured at that point, then you come back out in the population. If you're not, if it's sickness and it's getting you, then you go to the hospital, be treated for it and the rest of it. That way we know who has it. They stay home. People who don't, we can go and live with our life and travel and everything. The problem with the situation is we don't know who has it. We don't know who's contaminated with it. We don't know who's contagious. And as long as we don't find out who it is, you're never, ever going to stop the virus from going. If he would have took the money and said, listen, once you identify, we identify you, we're going to compensate you from the federal government, wherever you're working at. If you're unemployed, then, hey, man, we'll give you whatever money that you were surviving on prior to you being unemployed. If that means it was sitting there, you was getting an unemployment check, we will continue on that. But we need you to be incubated and quarantined until we find out that you no longer have the virus. Then you can come on outside with the rest of us. It's just that simple.
Earthquake for president. That's what
I mean, it's just that simple. You would have never had to shut down the government. You would have never had to shut down the businesses. You never. But you have a person that, first of all, his own self-interest, he didn't want it to show that it did exist because it would have hurt his goddamn numbers. It's all about him. And he doesn't have the mental capacity to handle such a complex thing. You got to understand, this is his first crisis in 4 years. He didn't have a crisis. He didn't have nothing. Nothing came across his desk. He didn't have anything. That's why he's able to tweet all day and find out what's on TV. He tweets more than my son. No. He watched more TV. He's on Twitter. No one able to do the things. And since you don't have competent leadership and a person that's, like Barack said last night, ready to do the job and get in and do the job, we are suffering from it. He reminds me, and you're a woman on this, he reminds me of a man who's driving that don't know where he's going, but will not stop and ask for direction, and he dare anybody in the car tell him he's going the wrong way.
Man, you said it. How you know my personal life?
You understand what I'm saying? He's that man. He's that man. Everybody in the car, you know that father. Everybody know he's going down the wrong way, but you know if he say something, he probably slap you in the mouth or shut up, so you just sit there. He won't stop and get no direction because his pride won't let him tell him that he's wrong. And he's driving down the street, and nobody in the car say, man, stop the motherfucking car. You're going the wrong way. Turn around, take the exit. It's this way. Stop the motherfucking car, and just let me out there because you ain't going nowhere. And that's what's happening right now. You have the Senate that will not say, man, you're going the wrong way. We know you're going the wrong way. But they're afraid if they say to him, instead of metaphorically being slapped in the mouth, put a tweet and have his followers, his constituents, which happen to be the Republican Party, chastise them, and then they be primaried against each other, and then they won't have a job no more. That's exactly what's going on. And that is allowing people to die.
Yes. And lots of them, because at the beginning, people were like, well, it's only, and it's easy to say it's only this number of people dying because you don't know anybody in that number. They're not related to you. Then when it's somebody you know or you love, then you're like, oh my God. But it's so disrespectful to say only 150,000 people, only 160,000 people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, but see, it's not a lot of people when it's disenfranchised to people that you don't think people anyway.
Right.
Well, believe me, if this disease virus was disproportionately affecting my Caucasian brothers and sisters, believe me, his ass would be out of that White House right now.
Yep. So I want to ask you what you thought when you saw the post offices closed and the mailboxes with locks on them. That's because the Republicans are always talking about the liberals wanting to make this a communist and socialist country. And they're always saying that's what Bernie is trying to do. That's what the AOC is trying to do. But when I saw the mailboxes with the padlocks on it that the Republicans did, that made me think of a communist country, a dictatorship, more than trying to get free healthcare.
Let me explain something to you. It's easy to tell a man pull themselves up from their bootstraps when you already got boots on and you walking. And what
Right.
I'm saying to this point right here, all of this, all the things they saying that they showing their hypocrisy because they just trying to hold on to power. They know it's more of us than it is of them. So they try to marginalize us so they can
Mhm.
still have that power. And this is the first time the revolution of people coming and say, hey, how do I change this? And to change this is by voting. So when they do the count, they know when they do their count, they know that they behind. They know it's less of them and more of us. And in a democratic society, majority rules. And they know. So they must limit it. They must. And he's doing this with the post office. He wants a frenzy. He wants confusion. So when it comes there, it's to justify, like he said, the only way I can lose this election if they steal it. So he's already saying everybody wants to bring him back. You have
Mhm.
never heard any politician saying, nigga, I'm going to win this race.
Yep.
You have never heard a politician. He's telling you, as 10 kings, dictators, tyrants, only way I can lose this motherfucker if it's rigged. Because he know goddamn well he needs an excuse and he want to shows confusion so he can put, it was, they stole it from me. They took it from me. So it could be problems in this country. And as always, the Senate is sitting right beside him, allowing him to do this. But they on their last leg. This is their last stand. This
Yeah, it
their
is.
last stand. This their
Yeah.
last stand. And to get rid of them, I'm telling people, Trump is not going to be no easy out.
No, he said it. That you ain't. I never heard a president say that if he lost, he didn't know if he would leave. He was like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because he know goddamn well when he leave, New York waiting on his ass. That's why, oh, they waiting on his ass.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why
what.
they locked up his boy Steve Bannon today.
Yeah, they did. I was going to bring that up. Steve Bannon and three others charged with fraud in border wall fundraising campaign. First of all, the wall that they said Mexico was going to pay for, fraud in that border wall. That's what happened with that wall that so many racist Americans were in favor of because they've been gaslighted into believe that immigrants are what's causing the demise in their lives.
Well, not only demise it, that's what they tell. That's what they tell their followers, so they can hate them. But what they really saying, if more of these motherfuckers come here and you make them citizens and you make different things, is ideologically don't nobody stand on the way we stand. And it's dealing with a democratic society and they're going to vote us out and we're going to lose power. So we must get them out. We got to get the act. We got to scare the white women in motherfucking suburban. We got to scare them. We got to. And what's so bad about Steve Bannon and building the wall? They raise money from their own fucking followers and they spend it. After promising them, all the money goes strictly to building the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a con man. He's done the con. He's done the con. And you think Steve Bannon to do this without Trump A-OK? If you believe that, come to LA, man. I got a bridge and two strippers that's right here waiting on you.
So we talked about all of the stories that we're talking about this week. You actually brought up Steve Bannon, and there's a Michael Cohen story too, because I believe there's a book. I mean, everybody in this
Yes.
crew has had. I mean, even they all making so much money.
Listen, my sister, if he loses, y'all gonna hear everything.
I'm having trouble understanding.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna hear everything. This Alexis, I don't know what's going on with her. I'm telling you right now, if he loses, you're gonna hear everything. You're gonna see just how much they robbed the bank. They
Well,
robbing them.
speaking of robbing the bank, the wealthiest billionaires during the pandemic, Bezos, Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, Larry Ellison, Steve Ballmer, and Elon Musk. As of March, they had 113 billion, 98, 55, 68, 59, 53, and 25. Since the pandemic, Jeff Bezos has made $76 billion. Bill Gates has made $16 billion. Mark Zuckerberg has made $42 billion. Warren Buffett has made 12, Larry Ellison 12, Stephen Ballmer 18, and Elon Musk has made $43 billion. And that is what has happened since Donald Trump has been in office.
Well, you know, when he went to down to his little penthouse, little hangout down in Florida, he told all his friends after he passed the tax cut, I just gave all y'all billions of dollars. Thank you very much. I just don't understand how can you follow a man and think a man who never had a job can have some kind of empathy or sympathy for a person who lost his job.
That's right.
How do you? I don't know how you equate. How do you sit here when a man tells you he's there to drain the swamp, and he didn't have more of the people that's around him indicted and locked up than any drug dealer ever had on a RICO charge?
Yeah.
I just don't understand how you let this New York slickster have you feeling that he and you together are in the same boat when all of his hotels, everything he sells, his golf course, none of them you can afford to go to.
It is surreal to watch. Nobody insults Donald Trump's base more than Donald Trump. He insults
exactly.
Yeah. Mary Trump said he would destroy his own family, so he will definitely destroy you. That's his niece.
Oh, I mean, you ain't even got need it. You see it. You see it. He hates Fox News when Fox News put a poll on saying we gotta listen to something else. Fox News with these phony polls. Anyone that says anything about him, then they're no longer good. They're no longer they're stupid. They're nasty. They whatever. No criticism at all. I mean, you cannot criticize this man. And don't you believe if he could? That's why he admires so many of the dictators, Putin, Qing over in China, all of them, because they can do retribution on their political adversaries immediately, and he envies that. Believe me, if he was a king and a dictator, your ass, my ass, all of us be hanging from a motherfucking tree right now.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that's what he's working on. Did you see the Wuhan Party? Did you see the people in Wuhan partying?
No, they jamming.
You have to see the pool. Yeah, it was crowded. They don't have any more cases, so they were having a mega party. And I know there was people in America have to be in their feelings because, you know, Donald Trump so effectively targeted them as he called it the Chinese virus or the China virus, but they no longer have coronavirus. And so I was looking at the countries that have been most successfully dealing with coronavirus, and they are being led by women.
Yes. And it's time to give a woman a shot. It's time. It's overtime.
Yes.
And I'm so happy for it. And when I tell everybody else and I tell black people, listen to me, Biden is 292 years old. Miss Harris is a young pup. She next.
Yeah.
Black woman right there. He's 350 years old. He can't run again. You understand? So she'll shoe in. Man, y'all better come on in here. Man, Biden got a good 8 years left on his earth. 10 at the max.
That's why I love you, man.
I'm just telling you. He's listen. It's a passing of the baton right in our eyes. This is historic. You're going to have a sister right there. And he told something you never tell a woman of color. You never promise nothing to her. and think she ain't gonna ask. She said, he said, Kamala will be the last person he talked to before he makes any major decision. Any black man that mess with a woman of color, believe me, they ain't gonna forget that. You said, gonna show you the tape, the time you said it, how you said it to the people. So she's gonna be in the decision-making process. That's the most we look. And I'm tired of people fucking with Biden too. Listen to me. This man was the wingman at the first black president for 8 years, had his back, supported him, no negative for 8 years. Then when he got his shot, he came and put a black woman on. What more you want the white man to do now? What more you want the white man? I know, brother, soon as this white man got a shot, he done ran 3-4 times, he done lost. This time when he ran, he brought a black woman. I know brothers that made it and ain't got a black woman working for him, not on his arm or nothing. Got a Becky, got a Laura.
Yep.
He got no black woman to sit. This white man at his pinnacle, at his highest level of success in politics, brought a black woman on. These brothers out here in these streets that hit the pinnacle of their life and ain't got no black woman on their motherfucking side. Ain't got no black woman or no woman of color working for them. Oh, they'll go see him twerk. They'll go see him strip, but they won't tell them, they won't empower them. They won't give them no place to fund their business. So until you able to do something for our women that he ain't doing, you ain't got shit to say to me. Show me where you did something for a black woman or empowered a black woman or help her become a better woman. Then you can criticize this white man. He's doing more for a black woman right now at his ability than you did in your whole fucking life, and you was born by a black woman. NBA players, you know who you are.
There it is. That's why he's an earthquake. So
I mean, it's real.
I know you always say the real though. That's who you are. It's not, you don't visit with it, you live in it. That's why.
Yes.
So tell me where are you performing next?
Oh, I'm doing a North Carolina run and South Carolina next September, first weekend of September. I will be in Greensboro, North Carolina at Comedy Live. Then I'm gonna do Raleigh, Charlie Goodnights the following week, and then I'm gonna end it up in Greenville, South Carolina at Comedy Live. Yeah, Comedy Zone. I think both of them. Yeah. So Greenville, yes, I'm doing all the little run. That'll be September the 4th through the 14th.
And then your radio show, which is on the LOL network.
Yes.
Quake's House. That comes on. That's 3 times a week?
It's take 3 times a week because of what we're going through. 3 times a week and tape on Friday and Monday, live shows on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're in hiatus, gearing up for season 3.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Season 3.
And then what else are you working on? Somebody just asked if you are writing a book because they would buy it.
Everybody tell me write a book, man. I'm not that. I mean, I admire y'all to write a book. I'm not a self-promoting type guy. You know what I mean? That's just not me. You know what I mean? But I'm going to look into it. My people been for the last 8 years. Come on, man. The stories from you being in the military, coming on over through, owning your own club and everything. You need to do that. So I'm looking into it. But, just sitting around talking about myself, that ain't one of my greatest things.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you for coming. I've been trying to get you on here. And when I did your show, you were like, I'm going to do your show. And you kept your word.
I'll do anything for you, girl. I'm always a phone call away from you. I protect you with my life out here. Any shows, things, anything that I can help you become whatever that you already is, I'm in there. I'm team you all the time, girl. So you are my sister. All you gotta do is just hit the digits and say you want me there, and I'm there.
Well, I appreciate that because I will do that. We're going to do something be closer to the election with some people, and I definitely want your voice because I think that we need it. I think people will listen to you because they know you're being real and honest, and you are one of the people, as opposed to a lot of these people who talk down on their fans. Your I go through your comments because I be in your comments section, and those people like they rock with you because they feel like that you're accessible to them, you belong to them, and that is magic when it comes to being an artist because it's important for people to feel connected to you, and your followers, they love you. I love you too.
I love you more, and my followers and my fans understand one thing about me. I'm not special. What I do is special. And that's what I try to tell all entertainers. I hate the arrogance that comes along with the publicity and the things that comes along with being famous or, that type of thing. And I tell them all the time, I said, if you really, I never understand your mentality that you think you're better, not less than anybody, but better than anybody, and that you're special. It has only been one person that was special, and that's Jesus. And if you were so special, and you were so, why did you have to prove it? Why wasn't nobody at the hospital when your mother had you and said, "This baby that's coming out right here gonna sing better than anybody else is"? And we know only Jesus was somebody that people gravitated for his birth coming in this world because they knew he was special. Now you tell me all these people, these million of fans, where were they when you came out the womb? You had to prove it to you. People who special under the special as my God, as Jesus, don't have to prove it. It's born with it. So until you show me that, it's just what you do is special. You ain't special, Holmes. So let it go.
That's
So
right.
you let it go. And so I know I'm not, what I do is special. This is my gift, but I'm not special.
Well, that's your opinion. Those of us who love you know that you also feel that. Thank you for being here today. And like I said, I'm gonna be calling you because I want you to do this other thing that I'm doing. And I always speak your name because I think that you are using your platform to really make the world better for us, and especially our people because our people are struggling right now. And I love your blue wall. Somebody asked about your blanket, your Redskins blanket. How do you feel about the changing of the mascot? That's going to be my last question, and I'm going to let you go because you've been here for a while.
Well, it's necessary because the Indians put the old hook, put the hoax on us. My team has sucked ever since. So since they put the hoax on us with the Cherokee Indians, so I'm happy for it. If it offended them, then it's just a name. Let's change it and move on. And I've been saying that for the last 10 years, and that's why we haven't won. We've been a dismal franchise. And now that we're just Washington until we come up with a new name for our nickname, I think we'll do well. And as a black man, I have to have some compassion to anyone that's feel though that something right is derogatory about their heritage. And I can understand it. I can only imagine if they was the Washington Negroes and every time they score a touchdown, brothers be in the end zone breakdancing. Look at that Negro dance. Look at that Negro dance. You know what I'm saying? So I feel them when there's a Washington Redskin and there's a dude dressed up as an Indian running up there. I feel that. I sympathize with that. I understand that. So, I'm with that. So I'm glad we finally got the owner to come around and see our point of view on it.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you were here, and you got to come back.
I will. I'm a phone call away. I love you,
Love
and
you
you're the
back.
best, girl. Keep being
Love you.
strong out there and stay fearless, girl.
Thank you. You too. You keep teaching. You keep paving the way for me, and I won't stop.
I won't stop. We in it together. I love you, girl. God
Love
bless.
you too. Bye. God
Bye
bless you.
bye. Bye.